Welcome to your EHC-TV Sports Update. I'm your host, Hayden Jamison. With just 6 conference series remaining in the year, the Emory Henry softball team is battling for the 8th and final playoff spot for the South Atlantic Conference Championships. The past weekend, the Wasps hit the road to take on Catawba, who currently sits in the 3rd place in the standings. Tossing over to some of those game highlights, the Wasps lost their first game of the doubleheader 3-0, and they found themselves in an early hole in Game 2. Reigning Conference Player of the Year and first-team All-American Bree Gallagher gets Catawba on the board as she slaps one over the right side of the infield, scoring the first run of the game. The next batter up adds one more to the scoreboard as Maddie Altiers hits a double to the gap between center and right field, stretching the Catawba lead to 2-0. The Wasps would fight back in the next inning as Hannah Booth takes one deep to left field to cut the lead in half. That's Booth's 9th home run on the season, and Wasps would have a chance to split the series in the final inning. Abigail Street steps up with the tying run on second and go-ahead run on first, and she hits it hard, but right to the third baseman. She tags third and makes the strong throw over to first and would get the game-ending double play. The Wasps drop a tough one, 2-0. The baseball team made the trip to North Carolina to play 3 games over this weekend against Wingate, who is fighting for the top spot in the conference. The Wasps would drop the first 2, but in the final game of the series, the Wasps would find their way to an early lead as Drew Park singled through the right side to score 2 runs. Wingate would answer right back as Tanner McCameron hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark for a 3-run shot, which would give them back the lead. Next inning for the Wasps would look at this chop right back in the middle, and the Wasps get another run across the plate. But Wingate's offense was powered by McCameron as he hits a rope down the third base line to add some insurance to this one. The Wasps would make it close in the end, but they dropped this one 11-8. The women's lacrosse, and they had a trip to number 13 in the nation, Wingate. Hope we all carpooled. Wingate would come to the board first as Amelia Benner helped spread the field before finding Madison Slayton, who does a nice job cutting between defenders to get the goal. The very next play, Duriade Jones goes right past 2 Wasp defenders and finds the back of the net, showing what they are one of the best teams in the SAC, picking up the win 23-0. More lacrosse, more Wingate. This one is a number 3 ranking team in the country for men's lacrosse. The Wasps would trail most of the game, but there were some amazing highlights, including this pass from Gavin Starling from behind the goal, but Caleb Menz shoots this with his back to the goal and over the shoulder. An amazing goal to get the Wasp on the board. But Wingate, well, they are pretty good. Jarrett Bitzer tries to force his way towards the net, and when you think the Wasps have stopped him, he finds a gap and a goal. Wingate wins this one with little problem, 22-3. A quick update posted after we went on air last week. Congratulations to the Intermont Equestrian at Emory Henry University IHSA team, who ended their regular season as Zone 4 Region 5 champions and will compete as a team in the Zone 4 championship for a spot at the IHSA National Championship. We also want to congratulate the IDA team for advancing to the national champion in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. Additionally, we are approaching the time of the year when teams begin honoring their graduating senior. Both the men's and women's tennis team did this over the weekend as they hosted Anderson. Congratulations to all of our graduating athletes. That's your EHC Sports Update. I'm your host, Hayden Jamison. See you next week.